So the following is a summary of terrorist stalking in America written by David Lawson. Many people, when you present credible evidence, unrefutable evidence, what the perps will try to do is, even the ones that know you in person or people online, they will go online, they will Google the name of the person who you're referencing, and they will look for any videos discrediting them or actually calling them a fraud so that they can label that information as disinfo or invalid. There's no discrediting David Lawson. We're going to get into these bulletin points, and you're going to get a real understanding of what gang stalking is and what it is truly about. And we're going to get into that right now. Okay, organized stalking groups. The following points have been summarized from Terrorist Stalking in America by David Lawson. The copyrights belong to Scrambling News 2001. David Lawson is a licensed private investigator, PI, in Florida. His PI number is CC2400733. He followed these stalking groups on and off for 12 years. He also wrote with them in a recent email regarding Canadian stalking groups. David Lawson said the following, and I quote, "When I rode with these groups in Niagara Falls / Buffalo, we would seamlessly hook up with Canadians when we crossed the border, and they would ride with us stateside." To kind of give you an idea of how multinational and unilateral this structure is, okay? Occasionally, this gives an indication of just how extensive and well organized these groups are, right? So he said occasionally they would ride along stateside, or they would have people come from Canada, and they would be carrying out missions on people in Niagara Falls and Buffalo, okay? It's just an example. Now let's get into these bulletin points. Let's get into these talking points, and we're going to clarify who's behind gang stalking once and for all. So, who is behind the stalking groups? 1. Corporations. Groups are used by corporations to stalk their enemies or potential enemies. 2. Organized crime. Many groups have links to convicted criminals in association with organized crime. Who is considered a threat to a corporation or industry? Whistleblowers, activists. What are these groups? They are private armies. They are primarily criminal groups. They have their own targets, which are well connected to their political agenda. They are also available for hire to corporations and other entities to destroy or neutralize people. They have the power to destroy lives. How are the groups financed? Groups are well financed by 1. Corporations. 2. Other criminal groups. 3. Committing crimes such as robbery, theft, drug trafficking. 4. Some targets are a source of corporate revenue. Now, let me reiterate on this, okay? Some people have been saying and writing in their comments, some of these corporations have what you would call dead peasant insurance, that they're allowed to take insurance policies out on particular targeted individuals without notifying them that they're doing so. Highly criminal, highly corrupt. Let's continue. Groups are operated as businesses. The sole financial beneficiaries are the leaders. Who are the leaders? Leaders pretend that they are larger-than-life characters with heroic backgrounds. They are looked upon with reverence by their followers. Typically, their background and alleged heroism cannot be independently verified because it allegedly involves national security. Leaders pretend that their groups are committed to bringing some change. In general, group leaders remain isolated from the activities of their followers. Leaders do not meet privately with group members. What do the group leaders get out of it? Financial power and/or political power. Who are the members? Right-wing extremist groups, IG, World Church of the Creator, WCOTC, and the Aryan Nations, left-wing extremist groups, special interest extremists, animal rights, pro-lifers, environmental anti-nuclear, Because their individual membership is quite small, extremist groups tend to network locally. They're made up of a combination of some people from many different groups in an area. Groups cloak their true identities by posing as citizens, as group and club church members. What do the group members get out of it? They believe they are fulfilling the higher purpose of the group, even though they may only have a general idea of the ideology of the group. They are having fun with their friends, and that fun involves stalking and harassing various targets and engaging in other civil disobedience. The people who are attracted to these groups which engage in call stalking are those who feel powerless, inferior, and angry, and they are empowered by the group. What is the psychology behind all this? This is a game. Groups are rallied by the constant victories that they win in the games they play with their targets. It does not matter to the group that the targets are not playing a game. It does not matter whether the target even knows what's going on around him. It is most important that the group members know what they are doing. This is their entertainment. This is an addiction. Many become addicted to it. It fulfills some of their human needs. This is an obsession. Groups are obsessed with every aspect of the target's life. They spend considerable amounts of time describing to one another what they did and the target's reaction, although it may not be true. These groups are cults. Groups are introverted. Their interaction with one another is more important than the interaction with a target. So no matter how much they try to manipulate you psychologically, you have to understand that this is a sadistic, sick game. It is sadistic, it is cruel, it is evil, it's reprehensible. Nevertheless, it is a game. It is a game that sick, psychopathic, sadistic people play because they have some type of mental illness or they're mentally challenged in some way or another. Anyway, continuing on. Who do groups target? Public officials, including local politicians and bureaucrats, IRS agents, Treasury agents, activists of all kinds, but especially civil rights activists, whistleblowers, abortion workers, identity or white supremacist groups target. Listen to that. Identity or white supremacist groups target gays, African Americans, that would be me, and Jewish people. Public officials, including police officers who have been accused of wrongdoing, those in the media, including radio, television, and publishing, especially those who are Jewish and those with fame, but not enough money to isolate themselves from these groups. Immigrants, groups typically target any judge presiding over the trial of one of their members. Groups also attack targets of convenience. These people are selected because they are convenient targets and not for any other reason. These include loners who tend to be more vulnerable to their harassment tactics than those with family and friends around them. Targets of convenience are used for practice. Sexual predators whose names, address, and photos are public information which is available on government websites. In small towns where extremist groups can actually have some power, they also target new people in the town who don't know anyone. The attitude of the extremists is that they control their areas and unknown people can't be trusted. Animal rights groups, activists stalk those who own ranches, furriers, research scientists working in the field of biomedical research using animals, executives of McDonald's elite. Econ terrorists target politicians, lodgers, elite. Groups normally attack the family, friends, and associates of a target and even the business he patronizes. What purpose does the target serve to the group? All targets are important in terms of rallying groups, winning the game, providing activities, recruiting new members, keeping existing members in line, by example, making a statement to the community. How are targets identified? Broadcasts on right-wing radio stations, internet, print articles.